Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. And yes. Uh and finally check this one out. I know some people will say, Scotty, you're trying to catch up with movies from this year. Didn't this technically come out in 2023? Yes and no. Um yes, this was released at this screened at Fantastic Fest in 2023, but it did not get its wide release till this year. So I'm counting it as a 2025 film, okay? I don't care. I don't care. There's another movie I'm doing. They got it, went to festivals in 2024. That's technically from this year. So, yes. The Toxic Avenger, the remake starring Pete Dinklage. Yeah. So a couple years ago now, back when this was talking about coming out, I did the original 4 films. And to varied degrees, I enjoyed them. I liked the first one. The second one was okay. The third one was fine. And then that fourth one, I don't know what that was. But I did all 4 of them. It's so bad it's good reviews. So bad it's good cinema reviews. And now there's this one. And you know what? I can't actually put this in that category because I think this is done better than the trauma films of the past. Like, this is done as an actual. This doesn't feel like, with trauma, they're open to parody, a lot of parodying stuff. This is handled somewhat seriously. It's darker, it's grittier, and it's less explicit. Like, one of the first things you see in the original is the group of hoodlums running over this kid. Not so much here. There is a kid in it, and I got nervous. Like, is that what starts him out? No, it's a more serious story. You have, it's not Melvin Ferd this time, it's Winston. Although Melvin Ferd is mentioned as being a news reporter that died. They have some connections. There's Melvin Ferd, who's a news reporter in this universe. It's called Saint Roma Township or whatever. Saint Roma. A gang holds up a restaurant, and there's a blind lady, although they made her black for some reason. She's not the love interest in this movie. Anyway, there is no love interest because they changed the character of the Toxic Avenger. He's no longer Melvin, his name is Winston, and he's a widower who is raising his stepson. Though they explicitly say they were never actually married, he's still stepping up, Though I don't think technically he would get guardianship if they weren't married before she died. So I don't know how that works, I guess. I don't know. But and it's Jacob Tremblay, who actually grew older, because you see him in a lot of shit and he doesn't seem to change, and now he actually got older. It was like, the kid ever gonna age? He does. He did. He finally did. When you're in a bunch of movies, I guess just in a string of years, you don't really, yeah. And and the story here is that he's a janitor, much like Melvin in the original, and he works for this company that is, of course, crooked and ran by Kevin Bacon's character Bob, who is the main villain. The trailers made it appear as if Elijah Wood was the villain. He's more the henchman. But yeah, he finds out that he has this brain tumor or disease or something, and he's got 6 months to a year to live. So he tries to, for some cockamamie reason, his platinum benefits package doesn't cover medical insurance, because the medical insurance is in the gold package. But for some reason, the platinum package doesn't cover the other packages like a regular insurance package would. You think, he keeps saying, but I have the platinum. Yes, but the platinum doesn't cover the gold. What? So you think if you have the highest package, it covers all that stuff together. But no, what does the platinum package cover? So he tries to talk to Bob. Talk to him, and Bob just basically laughs it off. He acts like he's sincere, and then they kick him out, and so they laugh it off. So he decides, I'm just gonna rob the place, and so he does. With the mob, he dips it in a toxic sludge, and then he robs the place. But then, in a story that doesn't really need to be here, we have JJ, a woman, African American woman. I just want to throw it out there. She is African American. She's trying to expose what HBD or whatever this company has done because her mentor was Melvin Ferd, the news reporter guy. So, and they killed him for trying to find out the truth. So she's trying to get the truth. Well, they have a kind of collision, which means with the knocks over the toxic chemicals, or knocks his mop into it and sets all the money he's got gets set on fire. And then this group of thugs that was hired by Elijah Wood to take down JJ shoots Winston Goose, and puts him in a toxic waste, which turns him into the Toxic Avenger. And then it's not Pete Dinklage anymore. We get Pete Dinklage doing the voice, but it's another suit performer. Still a little guy though, so you know. But so and he tries to get back into his house, but Wade, the stepson, is too scared of him, so he falls out the window, he breaks this guy's car, and there's a fight there, and then he meets this Mr. Miyagi type guy in the woods. He claims to be a doctor to try to help him, and helps him kind of train a little bit so he becomes a hero. Then you get the scene at the restaurant, and he goes in there and he kicks their ass. There's the blind lady. I think I was like, they get you? I can't see what you're doing. And he kicks ass, right? He kicks ass, and yeah. But then the paths intersect because JJ is trying to get this proof that she needs, and they end up figuring out somehow who he is and kidnapping Wade. So they gotta work together to stop him. Which ends up him going to this musical concert and beating up all this band, which is the gang that works for Elijah Wood and Bob. One of them has a chicken head, and it's revealed that it's like he's been mutated by the stuff. It tells them where they're holding the kid. Yeah. And an ensuing fight. At some point, she gets shot, and he takes her to the wise man, and he's like, I'm not a doctor. You said you were. So he has a cut in his hand and bleeding the stuff on her to heal her, I guess is how it works. I don't know. Eventually, he makes it there. He beats up people, but he's taken hostage, and they try to use his blood to create this sewage stuff, but it's untested. But Bob uses it on himself, causes him to transform a little bit, and then his secretary or whatever uses it on herself and transforms herself. There's a big old fight at the end. And you know what happens. The Toxic Avenger wins, which is not called once in this. There's no, thing at the end. Henceforth, he's known as the Toxic Avenger. No, there's no, there's none of that. It's just like, he wins, and then at the end, they're like, oh, we're gonna cover this up, and you're the hero, and he's like greeted by everyone. He's treated as a hero, like the original Toxic Avenger would be too. And he and his son now have a good relationship. Oh, and his illness was cured by this toxic sludge, which kind of sends the wrong message. Where it's like, oh, you have 6 months to a year to live. Okay, I'll just dunk my head in toxic sludge then. Kind of a mixed message, but I don't know. But yeah, it is permanent. Like I said, there is not. It's like the restaurant thing. I feel like the characters with chickens are not the poltergeist. There's, like I said, a character is named Melvin Ferd, though we never see him on screen, as far as I know. Maybe we do, and I just didn't know which one it was. The blind woman. At one point, trying to cheer up his son, he runs around the house wearing the tutu, which he doesn't wear here, or does he? I don't know. The tutu. Lloyd Kaufman has a cameo towards the end there. As does the director, Macon Blair. There's some gruesome shit in this movie. There's the eyeballs popping out and head being smooshed and shit. If you're there for the gore is there. It is played down from the original. I will say I do like the original better. Might be controversial. I don't know, especially with some of the content, but this is more laid back. Because you look at what the content of the original was. That scene with the kid getting ran over twice. The whole thing with the just everything in that movie. There's no nudity in this, any of that. It's very, for trauma, it's very pulled back. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. But yeah, I think Pete Dinklage did a good job. Although when he becomes Toxic Avenger, at least that it's not him, but the guy playing the Toxic Avenger in the suit is also really good. To that, I felt like if they weren't going to use Pete Dinklage as the in-suit performer, they could have used a bigger guy, because the whole point of that is that Melvin Ferd, this skinny little dude, skinny little nerd, becomes a big muscly guy. The fact that he's still a little person kind of defeats the point of him getting these powers, right? But I guess you want to sell it as it's still that person, I guess. I don't know. I enjoyed it, though. I'll give it a pretty good. It's a quick review, but it's really, I don't know. I don't want to go too much into it, but I liked it. I think it's, and since there's 5 now, I'd have to rewatch them, and I don't want to. I think I'd put it between 2 and 3. It'd go 4, 3. No, I think it'd be 4, 3, 2, this one, and 1. I don't remember how. I know I didn't like 4. 1 and this one. 1 and the remake would be at the top of it. I don't know. But, yeah. So, what are your thoughts on the Toxic Avenger? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.